address on it, you also need a proof of residency. And those vary. Those can be, apartment leases, bank statements, cell phone bills, utility bills. So there's a wide range of that. So if you need to register after October 21st, just make sure you have those things on hand.
Now, if you voted in the last general election, you're already a registered voter, correct?
Very likely, yes.
Okay, very good. Okay.
Yeah. If you've been registered and you've been voting, you're in our system, you're good. Sometimes people change addresses, though. They might move around in the county. That's another opportunity where if you haven't already updated that address, now would be a good time to do that before the 21st. Otherwise, again, we can update it on Election Day. Just make sure you have proof of that new residency.
All right, very good.
Yeah.
Voters can vote absentee before Election Day or at their polling location on Election Day. What do they need to do to vote absentee?
Okay, so if a voter wants to vote absentee by mail, they need to return a request form to us. So a request form can be found on our website, on the Secretary of State's website. They can also call our office and we will mail them a request form. There are some third parties that are doing some mailings right now with those request forms. So you may get duplicate forms in the mail, but you only need to return one to us to get a ballot mailed to you. On those forms, there is some information that we do need. So we need your name, your date of birth, and then it does ask for a ID number. So that ID number can be one of two things. It can either be your Iowa driver's license number or your Iowa non-operator ID number or a voter PIN. Now those voter PINs are only issued to people who don't have a valid driver's license. So not everybody may have one of those. The other thing that we want to make sure that everybody does is they mark the general election box for the election type, or put the general election date, which is 11/5/2024 on there. Make sure your address is on there. If you want your ballot mailed to somewhere other than where your residential address is, you can fill that out, and then make sure you sign and date the bottom. So then forms are due to our office by October 21st, that's a Monday, and we begin mailing ballots on October 16th. So if you haven't gotten your ballot yet, don't worry. If you've already requested it, it will be going out in the mail on October 16th. You can always call our office, make sure we received your form, or you can check the Secretary of State's office and track that process as well. Ballots must be returned to our office by 8 p.m. on Election Day, November 5th, in order for the ballot to be counted. So that's a little bit different than in the past. We do have to have those ballots in our hands by 8 p.m. in order for your vote to count.
Yeah, and then there's other opportunities to vote absentee. You can vote absentee in person. A lot of times we tend to just refer to that as early voting. And so what that means is people can come into the auditor's office, to the Clinton County Administration Building, starting on October 16th through the day before the election, November 4th. Folks can come in and they can request an absentee ballot right there. They'll still fill out the form that Kehly mentioned. We'll give them a ballot, they'll vote it there, and they'll still put it in an absentee envelope. That'll be sealed until the Monday before election when we can start counting those ballots. And then so then they can have that done. They don't have to fuss with the mail, and they can get it done early before Election Day. So we will also be open a couple Saturdays before the election this year, October 26th from 8 to 1, and then November 2nd from 8 to 5. So if folks, maybe it's hard to get up there during the weekday, they don't know if they can make it on Election Day, we'll have those 2 Saturdays open at the administration building for them to vote. And then we'll also have opportunities for folks to vote in DeWitt. We have 3 dates in DeWitt where folks can go to the Clinton County Satellite Office there. We'll have 2 Saturdays we'll be there. Those Saturdays are October 19th and 26th from 8 to 1. And again on Wednesday, October 23rd from noon to 6 p.m.
Of course, there are those traditional people, they would just want to vote on Election Day. So what do they need to know and do?
So if somebody wants to vote on Election Day, we are happy to see you at our polling locations. Polls are open from 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. You do have to vote at your own polling location. So if you don't know where those are, you can call our office. Our office staff is happy to look you up and tell you where you would go on Election Day. Or you can actually search your address on our website on the Secretary of State's website, or you can download our Where You Vote Clinton County app on your mobile phone and plug your address in there. It'll tell you where to vote. It'll also tell you the times, and it'll provide you with your sample ballot as well if you would like to do some research before going to the polls. And so when you get to the polling location, your neighbors will be there checking you in. We have Clinton County residents that are working all of our polling locations for us. We're very thankful for everybody who volunteers and helps us with that.
And do you need volunteers for that, Eric, Kehly? What do you think?
Yeah, we could certainly use some more folks in some areas where we're a little light and would like to have some more folks. What folks can do if they're interested in participating in the elections, working at a polling location, that's just one opportunity. We also need people to open and count the absentee ballots that come in. So to work the polls, then they can fill out a form on our county elections website, where they can just give us a call, send us an email, and we'll see where we can get them in. To work the polling places, there's a 2 to 3 hour training that we do the week before, and we offer 4 different sessions then. And then their day to work the polls is usually it's long day. But it'll be busy, so you'll be busy. But it starts at 6 a.m. and then usually goes to after the polls close. There's some administration to do afterward, obviously, to get the votes counted and sent in. So maybe 9 to 9:30 at the latest usually is what we're starting to see. And then if people want to work absentee voting, the hours for that, they usually come in on Monday morning. Might work, kind of 9 to 1-ish. We open all those envelopes, get the ballots separated. And then on Tuesday, they come back in again around 9 or 10, and we separate the ballots from secrecy envelopes, and then they count those ballots. So not quite as long day, but a little bit more time involved in there. Certainly, we could always use more folks. And let me tell you this, people do it. We do pay our poll workers, by the way. They do get paid. I know a lot of people think that's a volunteer deal, right? But they do get paid. But also, a lot of people just do it for, civic duty. They
Right.
just like helping their neighbors do, practice democracy. And but also, what we stress too is because anymore people have a lot of questions about elections and how they run and stuff. And I can't think of a better way for a person to come in and firsthand see how well elections are run in the state of Iowa by coming and working them and seeing that in practice.
Yeah, they should be proud, no doubt about that. So, Kehly, there are things to vote on the front and back of my ballot?
Yes, so the general election is a full ballot. So we have races on the front and the back. So you do not have to vote for every race that is on there. But we do want to make sure that you flip that ballot over when you get it. If you do go to the polling locations or you come into our office, make sure you flip it over. There are races on the back there. There's a couple public measures as well as judge retentions that are on the back. So again, I'm going to stress, look at your sample ballot, check those out, do your research, make sure you know what you're going to be voting on. However, you don't have to vote for everything. If you do vote for just a couple races on your ballot, those votes still count. You can leave all the other races blank if you'd like to. One other thing about coming to the polling location, make sure you bring a photo ID with you to check in. You have to have a photo ID or an issued voter PIN card from our office that has the PIN number on it. That can be used as well. Otherwise, there are a few other options for ID cards, but we really need a photo ID for you to be able to vote on Election Day. We do have machines available if there are individuals with disabilities to vote. We have a ADA compliant machine at every polling location, and anybody can use those machines. But they kind of just help make the ballot a little bit bigger. They make the buttons a little bit bigger so that people can actually vote on their own. But we do offer assistance if a voter requests it, and 2 of our poll workers will help that individual vote, or if they brought somebody with them, that person can also help them vote their ballot. We do offer curbside voting at every location.
Yeah, I saw that. I was amazed by that.
Yes, so if somebody they can get there, but they can't get out of their vehicle, they can give us a call. There's a sign that's out front of every polling location. They give us a call, and then we call the polling location and send 2 people out to their vehicle to help them vote their ballot.
Great, that is amazing, yeah. So now, when can people find results of the election at the end of the election day?
Yeah, so after that busy election day, obviously people are interested in what those results are. So they can find the unofficial results, by the way. Everything we put up that night and through that week are unofficial. They don't become official until the Board of Supervisors, acting as the County Board of Canvassers, actually says, here's the official results, and that happens usually a week after. This year it'll be a week and a day after, because there's a Veterans Day holiday in there. But they can find those unofficial results on the Clinton County Auditor's website. And then the Iowa Secretary of State's website also will have results up there. We report local races quicker than the SOS puts them up, because they're gathering from all 99 counties. We're just doing our county. But what's helpful with the Secretary of State's office website to look for results is that's where it's helpful when we have districts that go over county lines, such as here locally we have State Representative District 70 that goes into other counties, and of course U.S. Representative District 1 goes over several other counties, and that's where all those cumulative results will be, is on the Secretary of State's website.
I want to thank you both for coming in, because Election Day is so important for our democracy, no doubt about that. You mentioned the sample ballot. I know sometimes they've had that in the newspaper. Is that going to be the case again, or for people maybe to study that a little bit?
Yeah, so the laws have changed over the years.
Okay.
Gary, since you and I have been voting, we've been voting for a while, but the laws have changed on that we don't have to put in a ballot, an actual ballot anymore. We do list the candidates and the races in our public notice, but they can find sample ballots on our Clinton County elections website, though. So they can find their precinct, and right there it'll say sample ballot, and they can click on that sample ballot and they can see the front and back that's there.
Thank you both again so much for coming in.
Thanks,
Really
Gary.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Love it. Embrace it. Right now, the Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
I'm having a huge problem.